Cherry blossoms are a beautiful sight. Their delicate pink petals grace the trees each spring. In contrast, bamboo roots grow deep underground. These strong foundations support the tall, flexible bamboo stalks above. Both cherry blossoms and bamboo roots play important roles in their respective plants, showcasing nature's diversity. In the ancient streets of Kyoto, two hearts from different worlds collide. Mei and Hiroshi carefully balance tradition and personal desire. They embark on a journey of self-discovery. This journey challenges everything they thought they knew. Their preconceptions about love, culture, and identity are put to the test. As they explore their feelings, Mei and Hiroshi find themselves questioning long-held beliefs. The rich history of Kyoto serves as a backdrop to their personal growth. Together, they navigate the complexities of merging two distinct backgrounds. Their story unfolds, revealing the universal nature of human connection and understanding. The hum of jet engines faded as Mei Tanaka arrived in Japan. It was her first time in the country in years. Kansai International Airport bustled around her. A mix of Japanese and English announcements filled the air. Mei took a deep breath and clutched her carry-on bag tightly. Excitement and anxiety swirled in her chest as she took in her surroundings.
This is it? I'm really here?
Mei's whispered words were lost in the crowd. She made her way through customs efficiently. The smooth process stood in sharp contrast to her thoughts. Chaotic ideas raced through Mei's mind as she moved forward.
Okay, Mei, you've got this. Just find the train to Kyoto and...
Her self-pep talk came to a halt as she exited the airport. A mix of strange noises and unfamiliar sights greeted her. She immediately noticed the striking contrast between old and new building. Traditional architecture stood alongside sleek, modern designs, catching her eye. Navigating the busy streets of Kyoto proved more challenging than Mei had anticipated. She found herself constantly pausing to consult her phone's map. Mei's eyes darted between the screen and the unfamiliar street signs. This constant back and forth made her journey through the city a bit overwhelming.
Come on, where is... Oh.
Mei was distracted. She collided with a passerby. Her phone clattered to the ground.
Daijoubu desu ka? Daijoubu desu ka? Are you all right?
A gentle male voice spoke in Japanese. The voice then quickly switched to English. Mei looked up to see a handsome man. He appeared to be in his early 30s. His face showed concern. He bent down to retrieve her phone.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't looking where I was going.
Mei's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. She accepted her phone from the stranger.
No harm done. You seem a bit lost. Can I help you find your way?
The man had a kind smile. His smile put Mei at ease. She still felt some lingering embarrassment.
That obvious, huh? I'm trying to find my grandmother's house. But I'm having trouble with the addresses here.
Ah, yes. It can be confusing for visitors. I'm Hiroshi, by the way. Let me take a look at that address for you.
Hiroshi was studying a phone intently. Mei couldn't help but notice him. She observed how he carried himself with elegance. Hiroshi's demeanor was a perfect mix of modern and traditional qualities. His posture reflected both contemporary professionalism and classic poise.
You're quite close. The destination is just 2 blocks away. Turn right at the old temple. You can't miss it.
Thank you so much, Hiroshi. I'm Mei. I really appreciate your help.
Their eyes met. For a moment, Mei felt an unusual bond. It was as if the busy city around them had disappeared. The world seemed to pause, leaving only their connection.
It's my pleasure, Mei. Welcome to Kyoto. I hope you enjoy your stay here.
Hiroshi bowed slightly and turned to leave. Mei found herself watching him intently. He disappeared into the bustling crowd. Mei's heart began beating a little faster. The brief encounter left a lasting impression on her.
Well, that was unexpected.
Mei shook off the encounter and readjusted her bag. She set off in the direction Hiroshi had indicated. As she walked, ancient temples and gleaming skyscrapers captivated her. This contrast was a physical representation of her cultural experience. It reminded her of the tightrope she'd walked her entire life, balancing between traditional and modern influences.
2 worlds, just like me. Maybe I'll find where I fit in after all.
Mei continued her journey with renewed determination. She walked through the streets of Kyoto. Mei was unaware of what lay ahead. Her chance meeting with Hiroshi was just the beginning. This encounter would spark a transformative journey. It would challenge everything Mei thought she knew. Her understanding of herself and her heritage would be tested. The traditional tea house stood in sharp contrast to the bustling streets of Kyoto. Its tranquil garden was a haven of serenity. Mai Tanaka hesitated at the entrance. Her heart pounded with a blend of excitement and nervousness.
Deep breaths, May. You can do this. It's just tea, right?
Mai slid open the sliding paper door. A sweet scent of incense filled the air around her. In the room, she saw the tea master. The master was an elderly woman with a calm, peaceful face. The woman smiled gently and motioned for Mai to come inside.
Welcome to Naka-san. Please, make yourself comfortable.
Mai nodded as she tried to mimic the graceful movements of the other participants. She knelt carefully on the tatami mat. Her eyes darted around the room. She took in the detailed designs on the kimonos. Mai also noticed the precise placement of utensils. The traditional setting seemed to captivate her attention fully.
Thank you for having me. I hope I can do this properly.
As the ceremony began, Mai's confidence wavered. She fumbled with the tea whisk, her movements clumsy. Compared to others, her actions lacked their graceful flow. A bead of sweat formed on her brow. She struggled to remember the correct order of movements. The pressure of the ceremony weighed heavily on Mai as she tried to perform each step accurately.
Oh no, was it left hand or right hand first?
Mai was about to give up. She felt frustrated with her situation. Suddenly, a familiar voice caught her attention.
Mai-san? What a pleasant surprise to see you here.
Mai looked up. She saw Hiroshi entering the tea house. His presence brought mixed feelings. It was both a relief and a new source of nervousness.
Hiroshi, I didn't expect to see you here. I'm afraid I'm making quite a mess of things.
Not at all. The tea ceremony is complex, even for those who have grown up with it. May I?
Hiroshi knelt beside Mai. His movements were graceful and confident. With a gentle smile, he guided her hands. He showed her the correct way to move.
Like this, see? It's all about mindfulness and respect for the process.
It's beautiful, but I feel so out of place, like I'm play acting at being Japanese.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Mai-san. Culture isn't just about perfect execution. It's about connection and appreciation.
Hiroshi helped Mai through the ceremony. As they worked together, their fingers brushed lightly. This contact caused Mai to feel a brief thrill. She found herself relaxing as the ceremony continued. Mai let go of her need for perfection. Instead, she simply enjoyed the moment they shared.
Thank you, Hiroshi. I think I'm starting to understand. It's not just about the tea, is it?
No, it's about harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility. Values that transcend culture.
As the ceremony concluded, Mai felt a newfound appreciation. She recognized the unique blend of tradition and modernity. This special mix defined her heritage. Mai turned to Hiroshi beside her. A spark of connection ignited between them.
I'd love to learn more. Maybe you could show me around Kyoto sometime?
It would be my pleasure, Mai-san. There's so much more to explore.
Mai and her companion left the tea house together. As they departed, Mai had a realization. Her attempts to connect with her roots had been clumsy. Yet, she may have stumbled upon something unexpected. This discovery was far more meaningful than she had imagined. In her awkward efforts to explore her heritage, Mai found a deeper connection than she ever thought possible. The soft clink of china and gentle whir of an electric fan filled the air. Mai settled into her grandmother's cozy Kyoto home. Sunlight filtered through delicate paper screens. It cast a warm glow on the tatami mats. The familiar scent of green tea and incense surrounded her. These sensations transported Mai back to childhood visits. A comforting nostalgia washed over her.
Mai-chan, it's so wonderful to see you. You've grown into such a beautiful young woman.
Oba-san, thank you for having me. I've missed you. And this place.
Mai's grandmother had a face full of gentle wrinkles and wisdom. She smiled warmly as she poured tea with practiced grace. Her eyes were still sharp and observant. She studied Mai's face with love and curiosity.
Tell me, dear, what brings you back to Kyoto? It's been such a long time. Your mother mentioned you were doing well in America. She said your career there was successful.
I am, I guess. But lately, I've been feeling disconnected. Like something's missing.
Mai's voice trailed off. She found it hard to express the complex emotions. These feelings had led her on this journey. Her grandmother nodded wisely. She reached for a decorative wooden box. The box was sitting on a nearby shelf.
Perhaps what you're seeking is right here, in your roots. Come, let me show you something.
As her grandmother carefully lifted the lid, Mai leaned forward. Her curiosity was aroused by what lay inside. A collection of faded photographs and delicate keepsakes filled the container. Yellowed letters completed the assortment. These items preserved fragments of family history, telling stories of the past.
Obasan, I had no idea you kept all of this.
These are the echoes of our past, Mei-chan. Each item tells a story of where we came from. They remind us of the struggles we faced. They also show the love that carried us through.
Mei gently lifted a sepia-toned photograph. Her eyes widened as she looked at it. She recognized a younger version of her grandmother. Her grandmother was standing proudly in a kimono.
Is this you? You look so traditional.
Yes, that was me on my wedding day. Times were different back then. We honored tradition, but also found ways to be ourselves.
A thoughtful silence fell between them. Mei contemplated the image before her. She saw herself reflected in her grandmother's youthful face. The parallels to her own struggle with identity were clear. These similarities were impossible to ignore. Mei felt a deep connection to her grandmother's past, recognizing shared experiences across generations.
And what about you, Mei-chan? Is there someone special in your life?
Well, there's someone I've met here. Hiroshi. But it's complicated.
Mei's face turned a bit red as she thought of Hiroshi. Her heart beat faster at the thought. Her grandmother noticed this reaction. The older woman's eyes twinkled with understanding. There was also a hint of playfulness in her gaze.
Ah, matters of the heart are always complicated. But tell me, does he make you feel like you belong?
He does, but we come from such different worlds. I'm not sure how to bridge that gap.
Remember, Mei-chan, love is about finding harmony. It's not about erasing differences. Your grandfather and I faced our own challenges, but we grew stronger together.
As her grandmother spoke, Mei's gaze fell on a small wooden box. The box was finely detailed and nestled among the photographs. Something about it called to Mei. It seemed like a piece of her heritage she couldn't fully understand yet.
Obasan, what's this?
Ah, that holds a very special story. It's a tale that might help you understand your own journey. This story could make things a little clearer for you.
With reverence, Mei's grandmother lifted the box. Her eyes were misty with memories. As she began to speak, Mei leaned in. Mei felt the weight of generations past. She sensed the whisper of her own future. This moment connected past and present in a profound way. Grandmother and granddaughter shared a deep bond, bridging time and family history. The neon-lit streets of modern Kyoto pulsed with energy. Mei and Hiroshi stepped out of a sleek, glass-fronted building. There was a striking contrast in the city's architecture. Ultra-modern structures stood alongside traditional wooden buildings in the distance. This architectural blend mirrored Mei and Hiroshi's growing connection.
Wow, Hiroshi. I never imagined Kyoto could be so futuristic. It's like stepping into a science fiction film.
Yes, Kyoto has embraced progress. At the same time, it still honors its past. This creates a delicate balance. The city strives to maintain this balance between modernization and tradition.
Hiroshi's proud smile faltered slightly. He glanced at a tall, shiny skyscraper rising over a nearby shrine. Mei noticed his conflicted expression. She felt a spark of curiosity about his reaction.
You don't sound entirely convinced. Does the modernization bother you?
The situation is complex. I appreciate the conveniences of modern life. However, sometimes I worry about our changing lifestyle. There's a concern that we might be losing touch with our roots.
They began walking towards the older part of the city. The sleek buildings gradually gave way to narrow streets. These streets were lined with traditional machiya houses. The scene transitioned from modern architecture to a more historic and culturally rich environment.
I can understand that. Back in San Francisco, I often feel caught between two worlds. On one side are my parents' traditional values. On the other is the fast-paced American lifestyle.
That must be challenging. Here, we can still find pockets of the old world. Let me show you these remnants. They offer glimpses into our past, preserving memories of bygone times. Despite the changes around us, these traces connect us to our history and remind us of where we came from.
Hiroshi led Mei into a traditional market. The air was thick with the aroma of grilled yakitori. The chatter of vendors filled the space. Mei's eyes widened as she took in the vibrant scene. It was so different from the sterile modernity they had just left behind. The lively atmosphere contrasted sharply with their previous surroundings.
This is amazing. It's like stepping back in time.
This market has been here for generations. My grandmother used to bring me here as a child.
Mei and Hiroshi wandered through the market. Mei was drawn to Hiroshi's passion for tradition. However, she noticed something unusual. There was an absence of young people among the vendors.
It's a beautiful sight. However, there's something missing. Where are all the young people? Shouldn't they be learning these traditions? This observation highlights the importance of passing down cultural practices to the next generation.
Many young people prefer modern conveniences. This preference is truly a shame. Traditions form the foundation of our culture. They shape our identity and connect us to our past. By embracing these time-honored practices, we enrich our lives and preserve our heritage for future generations.
May felt uneasy after hearing Hiroshi's words. His tone hinted at judgment. It reminded May of her parents' disapproval. They often criticized her for adopting American ways.
But isn't there room for both? In San Francisco, we have unique markets. These markets mix old recipes with new ideas. This approach keeps the culture alive. It also appeals to younger generations.
Perhaps there's value in preservation. Some things are worth keeping as they were. Not everything needs to change, May-san.
The formal way of address stung May slightly. She realized something important about their relationship. Despite their growing closeness, a cultural difference remained. This gap between them couldn't be ignored. May understood that their bond was complicated by these cultural distinctions.
I suppose. But change isn't always bad, Hiroshi. Sometimes it's necessary for growth.
An awkward silence fell between them as they walked through the market. May felt a growing attraction to Hiroshi. However, her feelings were now mixed with a touch of worry. She wondered about the strength of his traditional views. May was concerned about how this might affect their budding relationship. The tension between her attraction and her doubts created an unseen emotional undercurrent as they continued their stroll.
Listen, May-san, this music has been played here for centuries. Don't you think there's value in preserving such beauty?
Of course there is. Preserving doesn't have to mean resisting all change. It can mean finding new ways to keep traditions relevant.
May and Hiroshi exchanged glances as they talked. They realized their conversation had deepened beyond music and markets. Their views on progress and preservation differed significantly. These differences became a metaphor for cultural tensions. They would need to navigate these challenges for their relationship to grow. The couple recognized that their connection was evolving, requiring them to address broader cultural issues. Their ability to understand and respect each other's perspectives would be crucial for their future together. The sun began to set over Kyoto. It spread a soft, orange light on the traditional wooden houses. May stood nervously outside Hiroshi's family home. The unexpected dinner invite had surprised her. She clutched a quickly bought present in her hands. May hoped the gift would be appropriate for the occasion.
May-san, you made it. Please, come in.
Thank you, Hiroshi. I hope I'm not too early.
May slipped off her shoes at the entrance. She was very conscious of every movement. May tried to remember the proper manners. Hiroshi greeted her with a warm smile. However, it didn't calm her nerves. The butterflies in her stomach persisted, despite Hiroshi's welcoming gesture.
Not at all. My family is eager to meet you. Just remember what we talked about, okay?
Right. Respect, formality, and try not to be too American?
Hiroshi's slight wince caught May's attention. She immediately regretted her attempt at humor. May wanted to apologize, but was interrupted. Hiroshi's parents arrived at that moment.
Ah, so this is the American girl.
Hiroshi's father's voice held barely concealed disapproval. May sensed the tension immediately. She felt her chest tighten in response.
Konbanwa? Ojamashimashita. Good evening. I'm sorry for the intrusion.
May bowed deeply, hoping her Japanese was acceptable. As she straightened up, she noticed something. There was a hint of surprise in Hiroshi's mother's eyes. This subtle reaction caught May's attention, making her wonder about its significance.
Oh, you speak Japanese? How unexpected.
Hai, skoshi wa nasemasu. Yes, I can speak a little.
As they moved to the dining room, May's eyes darted around. She took in the traditional decor of the space. There was a low table and tatami mats on the floor. A subtle scent of incense filled the air. It all felt both familiar and foreign to May. This mirrored her own conflicted identity.
Nai-san, is this your girlfriend?
A young woman appeared from the kitchen. May assumed she was Hiroshi's sister. The woman's eyes sparkled with curiosity.
Hanako, this is May. May, my younger sister Hanako.
It's nice to meet you, Hanako-san.
Oh, please, just call me Hanako. I've been so excited to meet you. Do you really work for a big company? Is it true that it's in America?
May felt a wave of relief at Hanako's friendliness. However, this feeling was brief. Hiroshi's father cleared his throat.
Hanako, remember your manners. Tanaka-san is our guest.
As they settled around the table, Mei felt uneasy. The weight of expectations pressed down on her. She glanced at Hiroshi, hoping for comfort. Instead, she found him looking equally uncomfortable.
Tanaka-san, please, tell us about your family. Are they originally from Japan? Yes, my parents immigrated to America before I was born. They have worked hard to maintain our Japanese traditions.
And yet, you chose to pursue a career instead of focusing on family?
The question lingered, unanswered. It carried an unspoken criticism. Mei recognized the feeling immediately. She felt a familiar mix of shame and doubt wash over her. The guilt and uncertainty were unmistakable companions to the silence.
I believe it's possible to have both, Tanaka-san. My parents have always encouraged me to...
Interesting.
The dismissive tone caused Mei to blush visibly. She glanced at Hiroshi, hoping for support. However, he remained silent, keeping his eyes on his plate.
I think it's amazing, Mei-san. I'd love to hear more about your work in America.
Hanako's enthusiasm shone brightly in the tense atmosphere. As the meal continued, Mei felt drawn to the younger woman. She appreciated Hanako's warmth and was grateful for their connection.
Hiroshi, have you taken Tanaka-san to see the family shrine yet?
Not yet, Mother. I thought perhaps this weekend.
This weekend is coming up. Isn't that when Yoshida-san's daughter is visiting? She's the one from the respected family in Tokyo.
The implication wasn't lost on Mei. She felt a knot forming in her stomach. Mei realized how deep the cultural divide ran. This understanding made her physically uncomfortable, highlighting the significant differences between cultures she was experiencing.
Excuse me, may I use the restroom?
Mei left the room, hearing hushed and rapid Japanese being exchanged. She couldn't make out the words, but the tone was clear. Leaning against the wall, she took deep breaths. Mei felt more out of place than ever before.
Mei-san, are you okay?
Hanako, yes, I'm fine. Just needed a moment.
I'm sorry about my parents. They're set in their ways. But I think you're great. I can see how happy you make my brother.
Mei felt a rush of affection for Hanako. However, this feeling was tinged with sadness. As they returned to the dining room, Mei wondered about her place. She questioned if she'd ever truly belong in another world. There was the world she'd left behind in San Francisco. And then there was this new world she was trying to embrace in Japan.
Mei, are you all right?
I'm fine, Hiroshi. Just processing.
The evening was coming to an end. Mei stood once again at Hiroshi's family home. She felt the weight of expectations and traditions. Cultural differences pressed heavily on her shoulders. Mei turned to look at Hiroshi. She searched his face for understanding and support.
Hiroshi,
Mei, I'm sorry. I know this wasn't easy, but thank you for coming.
Mei walked away into the Kyoto night. Her mind swirled with conflicting emotions. She felt the warmth of Hanako's friendship. The sting of Hiroshi's parents' disapproval lingered. Hiroshi's silence and lack of action troubled her. These feelings competed for attention in her thoughts. Mei had come to Japan seeking connection and belonging. Now she felt more adrift than ever. She was caught between two worlds. Mei was unsure of her place in either. The night air was cool and crisp. Mei climbed the stone steps of Kiyomizu-dera Temple. The ancient structure loomed before her. Its wooden beams were illuminated by soft, golden light. Mei had come seeking solace. She hoped to find clarity in the quiet evening.
This place, it's like stepping into another world.
Mei paused to take in the breathtaking view of Kyoto spread out below her. The city lights twinkled like earthbound stars. It was a mesmerizing blend of old and new. As she stood there, lost in thought, a familiar voice broke through.
Mei-san, I didn't expect to see you here.
Mei turned around. She was surprised to see Hiroshi. He was standing a few feet away. His expression showed a mix of curiosity and warmth.
Hiroshi. What a coincidence. I needed some time to think, and this place called to me.
It has that effect on people. The temple has stood here for centuries. It watches over the city. Sometimes I come here for perspective. This ancient structure deeply affects visitors, serving as a timeless guardian of the urban landscape. Its presence offers a sense of continuity and reflection, drawing me to its site when I seek a broader view of life.
Mei nodded, feeling a sudden connection with Hiroshi. They moved to the temple's famous wooden stage. Their steps echoed in the night air.
Perspective is exactly what I'm looking for. Being here in Kyoto has stirred up many questions. These questions are about who I am and where I belong.
You're caught between two worlds, aren't you?
Hiroshi's insight surprised Mei. She looked at him with new eyes. It was as if she truly saw him for the first time. This moment of realization changed her perspective completely.
How did you know?
I see it in your eyes. The way you look at our city is filled with wonder, but I also notice confusion in your gaze. It's like you're trying to solve a complex puzzle. Your expression reveals a mix of awe and bewilderment as you take in the sights around you.
May leaned against the railing. Her gaze drifted back to the cityscape. The two short sentences maintained the original meaning while providing a natural pause for easier listening and comprehension.
That's exactly it. I'm Japanese, but I'm also American. I thought coming to Japan would help me understand my heritage better. However, in some ways, I feel more lost than ever. This experience has made me question my identity and my connection to my cultural roots.
Identity isn't always simple, Mei-san. It's not about choosing one side or the other. Instead, it might be about finding a way to honor yourself fully. This means embracing both parts of who you are.
His words resonated deeply with May. She turned to face Hiroshi. May now saw him in a new light. This change in perspective marked a significant moment in their interaction, altering how she perceived him.
You sound like you understand this struggle.
In a way, yes. I've always been strongly connected to tradition. But lately, I've been questioning things I once took for granted. Meeting you has opened my eyes. It's shown me different perspectives.
A comfortable silence fell between them. They both gazed at the bright city below. May felt a warmth spreading through her chest. She experienced a sense of connection to Kyoto. This connection extended to Hiroshi as well.
Thank you, Hiroshi. I appreciate your understanding and presence. I'm realizing something important. This conversation means more to me than I thought.
As did I, Mei-san. Perhaps we can help each other. We can navigate these questions together. The questions are about identity and belonging. By working together, we may better understand who we are and where we fit in.
May and Hiroshi stood bathed in moonlight at the temple. The soft glow surrounded them as May felt a shift within herself. Below, the city blended ancient traditions with modern life. This scene suddenly mirrored May's own journey. Hiroshi, standing beside her, felt like a bridge between worlds. He represented a connection May wasn't quite ready to define. Yet, this connection filled her with hope and possibility.
Hiroshi, would you like to explore the temple grounds with me? I have a feeling there's still much to discover.
I'd be honored, Mei-san. Let's see what other revelations the night has in store for us.
May and her companion set off together. Their footsteps were in sync as they walked. May felt this chance encounter at the temple was significant. It seemed like the beginning of something profound. This journey would challenge them both. Yet, it might lead to the belonging they each sought. Before we continue, let's take a moment to reflect. What are your thoughts about this story? What would you like to hear next? Please share your ideas in the comments. The gentle sound of chisels on wood filled the air. Soft rustles of fabric added to the atmosphere. May and Hiroshi sat side by side in the traditional craft workshop. Sunlight streamed through the paper screens. It cast a warm glow on their shared workspace, creating a cozy environment for their crafting activities.
This is amazing, Hiroshi. I've never felt so connected to my heritage before. It's like I can feel the history in my hands.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, May. This craft has been passed down through generations. It's an important part of our culture.
May smiled as she worked. Her fingers traced the intricate pattern she was carving. Hiroshi watched her with admiration and curiosity. Their shoulders occasionally brushed as they worked side by side.
You know, I can't help but wonder about the women from the past. Who might have created these beautiful pieces? Were they allowed to be artisans too?
Well, traditionally, this particular craft was considered a man's work. Women had their own areas of expertise. These included activities like tea ceremony and ikebana.
May's hand stilled. Her brow creased slightly. She processed Hiroshi's words.
But surely things have changed now, right? I mean, look at us working together. It seems like such a waste. Limiting creativity based on gender is unnecessary.
Things are changing, but the process is slow. There's value in preserving traditions, May. These roles have existed for centuries. They have remained in place for a reason.
Tension grew between them. The earlier warmth was fading away. Their different viewpoints became apparent. This shift revealed the underlying disagreement in their perspectives.
I understand respecting tradition, Hiroshi. But shouldn't we also question practices that limit people's potential? In America, we have a different approach. We often challenge customs that may restrict personal growth and opportunities.
This isn't America, May. Our culture has its own way of doing things. It has worked for us for a long time.
May set down her chisel. She turned to face Hiroshi fully. Her eyes flashed with emotion. They showed a mix of frustration and determination.
I know it's not America, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. Don't you think there's room for growth? Don't you think there's room for change? This place may be different, yet it can still improve. We can acknowledge its uniqueness while seeking progress.
Change isn't always necessary or good, May. Some things are better left as they are.
The workshop fell silent around them. Other participants stole curious glances. They observed the pair's heated discussion. The sudden quiet drew attention to the intense conversation between the two individuals.
I need some air. Excuse me.
May stood up abruptly, her chair scraped on the floor. She made her way to the door. Hiroshi watched her go. Mixed feelings showed on his face.
May, wait!
She was already gone. Hiroshi was left alone with his unfinished craft. He felt a growing sense of unease. He looked down at their joint project. For the first time, he saw how their different approaches had created something unique. It was a mix of old and new styles, blending both. The project was beautiful in its own way. It challenged his preconceptions about art and collaboration.
Muttering to himself, maybe there is room for compromise after all.
Hiroshi thought about the consequences of their disagreement. He realized that dealing with their cultural differences would be challenging. It would take more than just attraction to make things work. Understanding and patience were essential. Both of them needed to be willing to look beyond their own viewpoints. This approach would help them navigate their relationship more effectively. The gentle hum of conversation filled the cozy cafe. May sipped her matcha latte, taking in her surroundings. She looked around at the charming decor of the place. As she observed, she couldn't help but notice something unusual. Occasional glances and hushed whispers came from nearby patrons, catching her attention.
May-san, how are you enjoying your time in Kyoto? I've seen you around frequently recently. You've been especially with that handsome gentleman from the area.
Oh, hello, Tanaka-san. Yes, I'm having a wonderful time. I've been exploring the city. Hiroshi has kindly shown me around.
May felt a faint blush appear on her cheeks. She became aware of subtle implications. These were conveyed through the local guide's tone of voice. The guide's manner of speaking had hinted at something, causing May's mild reaction.
Ah, yes, Hiroshi. He comes from a very traditional family. You know, it's quite unusual. We see him spending so much time with a foreign woman.
I see. Well, we're just friends getting to know each other.
May's voice faltered slightly. This betrayed her uncertainty. She quickly finished her latte. Then, she gathered her things.
Thank you for your concern, Tanaka-san. I should be going now.
May hurried out of the cafe. She felt a sense of disapproval following her. Making her way back to her apartment, May's thoughts were in turmoil. Her mind was filled with nagging doubts.
Hello?
May, how's my favorite globetrotter? You sound a little off? Everything okay?
Sarah, hey, I'm not sure, to be honest. I've met someone here, but it's complicated.
Ooh, spill the tea. What's he like? Is he cute?
He's wonderful, actually. Kind, intelligent, and yes, very handsome. But
what? Come on, May, you deserve some happiness.
I'm finding it challenging to adjust. The cultural differences feel overwhelming. People here have certain expectations. I'm unsure if I fit into their way of life. It's difficult to navigate these new social norms and customs.
Oh, May, don't let other people's expectations hold you back. You've always been amazing at bridging cultures. If this guy is worth it, you'll find a way.
May sighed, feeling torn. She appreciated her friend's support. However, May realized something important. Sarah was far removed from May's situation. The complexities were beyond Sarah's understanding.
Thanks, Sarah. I know you mean well. It's not that simple here.
Well, remember why you went there in the first place. You wanted to connect with your roots, right? Don't lose sight of that important goal. And hey, if things don't work out as planned, don't worry. Your job is still here waiting for you.
Right. Thanks for checking in. I should go, but let's catch up again soon.
May ended the call, feeling a growing distance from her old life. Her new experiences seemed to stretch even further away. She walked to the window and gazed out. The view mixed traditional and modern Kyoto architecture. This sight reflected her internal struggle.
softly to herself. What am I doing? Can this really work?
The sun began to set over the city. It cast a warm glow across the landscape. Mei's phone buzzed with a message. It was from Hiroshi, inviting her to dinner. Mei's finger hovered over the reply button. Her heart and mind were in conflict. The crisp autumn air filled the Arashiyama bamboo grove. Mei and Hiroshi strolled hand in hand through the forest. They were surrounded by towering green bamboo stalks. A carpet of golden leaves covered the ground. Soft rustling of bamboo in the breeze created a serene atmosphere. Occasionally, leaves crunched beneath their feet as they walked.
Hiroshi, this is breathtaking. I've never seen anything like it.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, Mei-san. Autumn in Kyoto is truly special.
Mei noticed Hiroshi's polite form of address and felt disappointed. Their relationship had been growing closer recently. Yet Hiroshi still maintained a level of formality. This formality seemed out of place in the intimate moment they were sharing.
You know, you can just call me Mei. We've known each other for a while now.
Ah, yes, of course, Mei.
Hiroshi's hesitation was clearly visible. Mei could sense his inner turmoil. He was torn between proper behavior and personal desire. This conflict between duty and his own wishes was evident in his demeanor.
Is everything okay? You seem a bit tense.
It's just not that simple. In our culture, using first names casually is quite intimate. I don't want to presume such familiarity. This level of informality might be uncomfortable for me, given my cultural background.
Mei felt a familiar twinge of frustration. She understood the cultural nuance at play. However, part of her yearned for something different. She missed the easy familiarity of San Francisco. The contrast between her current situation and her life back home was stark.
I understand. But remember, I'm not just Japanese. I'm also American. To me, using my first name feels natural. This is especially true with someone I care about.
You're right. I apologize, Mei. I'm still learning to navigate these cultural differences.
As they continued walking, the path opened up to a small clearing. Sunlight filtered through the bamboo. It cast dappled shadows on the ground. Hiroshi suddenly stopped. He turned to face Mei.
Mei, there's something I want to show you.
He gently led her off the main path. They arrived at a secluded spot near a small stream. The stream trickled by quietly. The surface of the water was covered with leaves. Vibrant red and orange leaves created a stunning mosaic on top.
Oh, Hiroshi, it's beautiful.
This is my favorite spot in all of Arashiyama. I wanted to share it with you.
The vulnerability in Hiroshi's voice touched Mei deeply. She realized that Hiroshi had his own way of communicating. He was trying to bridge the gap between them. Mei sensed the fragility in his tone, understanding his effort to connect. This moment revealed Hiroshi's attempt to overcome their differences and reach out to her.
Thank you for sharing this with me. It means a lot.
Mei's heart raced as Hiroshi held her hand tightly. She felt the warmth of his body as he moved closer. Hiroshi's eyes searched hers intently. The moment was charged with unspoken emotion, their physical closeness mirroring their emotional connection.
Mei, I've never felt this way about anyone before, but I'm afraid...
Afraid of what?
I fear disappointing my family. This worry extends to not being able to give you what you need. Our backgrounds are so different from each other, which contributes to these concerns. Despite our connection, these differences present challenges in meeting expectations and understanding each other's needs fully.
Mei's heart ached at the conflict she saw in Hiroshi's eyes. She recognized her own fears in his expression. This shared emotional turmoil created a deep connection between them, unspoken yet profound.
I'm scared too, Hiroshi. But perhaps our differences can make us stronger together. We just have to be willing to try.
They were drawn together as if by an invisible force. They leaned towards each other. Their lips met in a soft, tentative kiss. The kiss quickly deepened. It was filled with a rush of hidden emotions they had long held back. When they finally parted, both were breathless. The world around them seemed to have disappeared. Only the two of them remained in this perfect moment.
Mei, I think I'm falling in love with you.
The words hung in the air. They were full of promise, yet complex and challenging. Mei's heart soared with emotion. At the same time, her mind raced. She thought about all the challenges they would face together.
I think I'm falling in love with you too, Hiroshi. But where do we go from here?
Mei and Hiroshi stood together, surrounded by the beauty of autumn. They felt a sense of potential in the air. Both knew their journey together was just beginning. The path ahead was uncertain. In this moment, they chose to embrace the hope of new beginnings. The sleek conference room buzzed with anticipation. It was part of May's temporary office in Kyoto. May sat at the polished table, her heart racing. She faced the video call that would change everything.
May, I hope you're sitting down for this. Remember that project you spearheaded last quarter? Well, it caught the attention of our Tokyo branch. They want you, May. They're offering you a full-time position. You'd be leading their international marketing division.
What? Are you serious? That's incredible.
May's voice wavered between excitement and disbelief. Her colleague's words echoed in her mind. A whirlwind of possibilities and uncertainties swirled within her. She felt a mix of hopeful and doubtful thoughts as the impact of the conversation settled in.
May, this is a huge opportunity for you. You would be relocating to Tokyo permanently. They were impressed by your unique perspective as a Japanese American. Think about it carefully. Please let me know your decision by the end of the week.
Of course, I'll definitely think it over. Thank you for letting me know.
As the call ended, May leaned back in her chair. Her mind was spinning from the conversation. The opportunity she had always dreamed of was now within reach. Yet, the thought of leaving Kyoto troubled her. Leaving Hiroshi made her heart ache with sadness. May glanced at her phone and saw a message. It was from Hiroshi, inviting her to dinner. May felt overwhelmed by the contrast in her life. Her work success clashed with her personal struggles. Later that afternoon, May sought clarity. She found herself in her grandmother's peaceful garden. Gentle leaves rustled nearby. A soft stream trickled in the background. These sounds created a soothing atmosphere. They contrasted with May's inner struggle. The calm setting provided a backdrop for her thoughts.
May-chan, what troubles you? Your eyes carry the weight of a difficult decision.
Oba-chan, I've been offered a dream job in Tokyo. It's everything I've worked for, but
your heart has found something here in Kyoto that makes you hesitate.
May nodded, her eyes glistening. Unshed tears lingered in her gaze. Her grandmother's gentle wisdom always had a special quality. It addressed the core issues directly. This wisdom had a way of getting right to the point, touching May deeply.
I feel so torn. This job is a rare and exceptional opportunity. But the thought of leaving weighs heavily on me. Leaving Hiroshi feels especially difficult. It's like I'm being asked to choose between two parts of myself.
Ah, May-chan, the hardest choices in life are often between two good things. Your ambition is a worthy guide. Your heart is also a worthy guide. Both can help you navigate these difficult decisions.
The old woman paused. Her weathered hands gently tended to a nearby bonsai tree. May watched the scene intently. She saw similarities between the careful pruning and her own life choices. The delicate task of shaping the tree reminded May of how she shaped her own path.
Remember, a tree with strong roots can weather any storm. Your roots are not limited to one place or one person. They are within you, nourished by your experiences. Your American upbringing and Japanese heritage both contribute to your identity. These diverse influences make you resilient, like a tree that can withstand any challenge.
But how do I choose, Oba-chan? How do I know what's right?
The right choice, May-chan, is one that allows you to grow. It's important to grow without losing yourself. Listen to your heart, but don't ignore your mind. The path forward may not be clear right now, but clarity will reveal itself in time.
May absorbed her grandmother's words. She felt both comforted and conflicted. The sun began to set, creating long shadows in the garden. May knew that a decision lay ahead. This choice would shape not just her career, but her entire identity.
Thank you, Oba-chan. I have a lot to think about.
May left the garden with a tender hug from her grandmother. Her steps were slow and thoughtful. The weight of her upcoming choice hung heavy on her shoulders. She prepared to meet Hiroshi, knowing their conversation would be crucial. Tonight's discussion would greatly affect her future. The sun was setting as May approached Hiroshi's family home. It was a traditional Japanese house with a perfectly groomed garden. Her heart raced, knowing the importance of this dinner invitation. She smoothed her carefully chosen outfit. It was a modest yet elegant dress. She hoped it showed respect for tradition while also expressing her own style.
Take deep breaths, May. You've got this. It's only dinner with your boyfriend's family. You're still learning about their culture. No pressure, right?
May! You made it! You look beautiful.
Thank you, Hiroshi. I hope I'm not too early.
Not at all. Come in, please. Everyone's excited to meet you.
Hiroshi greeted May with a warm smile. Despite this, May felt nervous as she entered the house. She removed her shoes and placed them neatly by the door. The air was filled with the scent of traditional Japanese cuisine. This aroma mingled with a faint smell of incense.
Ah, so this is the American girl.
Hiroshi's father's voice sounded disapproving. This made May's stomach tighten with anxiety. She responded by bowing deeply. May was determined to make a good impression despite her nervousness.
Thank you for inviting me into your home, Tanaka-san. I brought a small gift.
May presented a beautifully wrapped package. The package was filled with a selection of high-quality teas. May had carefully chosen these teas. She made her selection with her grandmother's advice.
At least you have some manners.
Now, dear, don't be rude. Welcome, May-san. Please come in and make yourself comfortable.
Hiroshi's mother gently intervened, easing some of the tension. May, however, could still feel the pressure of expectations. She followed the family into the dining room. The table was set with an array of traditional dishes. Each dish was a work of art in its presentation. The carefully arranged meal added to the atmosphere of anticipation.
May, please sit here, next to me.
May took her seat at the table. She noticed Hiroshi's sister giving her a curious look. An overwhelming silence fell over the group. The quiet lasted until Hiroshi's father spoke again.
So May-san, Hiroshi tells us you work in marketing. We're wondering about your career choice. Is that a suitable field for someone planning a family? We're curious how you balance work and personal life goals.
I believe it can be. Many women in America balance successful careers with family life.
This isn't America. Our ways are different here.
Father, please. May is accomplished in her field. Her work is important to her.
The tension at the table was palpable. May could see Hiroshi tightening his jaw. He tried to mediate between two viewpoints. His father held traditional views. Hiroshi had his own changing outlook. The family struggled to find common ground.
Perhaps we could discuss something else. May-san, Hiroshi mentioned you're interested in Japanese culture. What aspects of it fascinate you the most? There's so much to admire about Japanese culture. The respect for tradition is remarkable. Attention to detail is evident in everything, from food to art. I'm especially interested in the concept of wa. Wa represents harmony and balance in life. I'm trying to bring more of this concept into my own life.
May's earnest response seemed to soften the atmosphere slightly. However, the underlying tension remained. As the meal progressed, May found herself constantly doubting her words and actions. She was extremely conscious of every potential misstep.
Hiroshi, have you thought more about the omiai we discussed? The Watanabe family has a lovely daughter. She would make an excellent wife.
Father, we've been over this. I'm not interested in an arranged marriage.
You need to think about your future. Consider carrying on our family name and traditions. This relationship with an American girl is temporary. It's just a phase in your life.
The room fell silent. May felt her cheeks burning. She experienced a mix of embarrassment and indignation. May looked at Hiroshi. She saw conflict etched on his face. His expression mirrored her own complex emotions.
It's not a phase, Father. May is important to me. I care for her deeply. I won't let you dismiss our relationship so easily. This connection matters, and I'm standing firm in my feelings.
You would choose her over your family, over centuries of tradition?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cause any trouble. Perhaps I should go.
No, May, please stay. Father, this isn't fair to May or to me. We're trying to honor our heritage. At the same time, we want to be true to ourselves.
The tension in the room reached a breaking point. Hiroshi's mother looked anxiously between her husband and son. Meanwhile, Hiroshi's sister watched the scene unfold. She observed with a mix of concern and curiosity. May felt caught in the middle of a clash of cultural values. Her presence was both the cause and victim of this family conflict.
You speak of honor, yet you're ready to throw away everything we've built for generations. Is this because of your American girlfriend's influence?
This is my decision, Father. May has shown me something important. There can be a balance between tradition and progress. We don't have to choose one over the other.
The argument was escalating. May found herself at a crossroads. She could remain silent, a quiet onlooker in this family drama. Or she could stand up for herself and for her relationship with Hiroshi. Taking a deep breath, May made her choice.
Tanaka-san, I understand your concerns. I have deep respect for Japanese traditions and values. Love and understanding can bridge cultural divides. Hiroshi and I are learning from each other and growing together. Isn't it also a beautiful tradition to bring different perspectives together? This coming together can create something new and meaningful.
The room fell silent once more. This time, the silence felt different. Hiroshi looked at Mei with surprise and admiration. His father's expression remained unreadable. The presence of tradition was strong in the air. Yet, something else was there too. It was the first faint signs of change beginning to emerge. The International Cultural Center bustled with activity. People from various backgrounds mingled, sharing stories and traditions. Mei stood at her assigned booth. A colorful display of Japanese and American cultural items spread before her. She took a deep breath, feeling both excited and nervous. Mei looked forward to the day ahead.
Okay, Mei, you've got this. Just be yourself, whichever version of yourself that is today.
As visitors approached, Mei easily engaged in conversations. She found herself discussing her dual heritage. To her surprise, many others shared similar experiences. Volunteers and attendees alike had backgrounds spanning multiple cultures. This common ground created a sense of connection among the diverse group.
Mei-san, your booth is quite popular. How are you finding the event so far?
It's incredible, Yuki. I never expected to feel so at home among strangers. There's something comforting about this experience. I'm surrounded by people who understand cultural identity. They grasp the complexity of diverse backgrounds.
That's the beauty of these events. They remind us that we're not alone in our experiences.
As the day progressed, Mei's confidence grew. She easily changed between Japanese and English. Mei shared stories about her childhood in San Francisco. Her upbringing was shaped by her Japanese parents. However, each conversation brought a new insight. Mei felt a mix of emotions settling in her heart.
You know, Yuki, I came to Japan for a reason. I was hoping to find clarity about who I am. But as I connect with people here, I'm realizing something.
Realize what, Mei-san?
I have this feeling of being caught between worlds. It's not something I'll ever fully resolve. This feeling is simply part of who I am.
Yuki nodded with sympathy. Before she could respond, Mei's phone buzzed. An incoming video call interrupted them. Mei's parents' smiling faces filled the screen.
Mei, sweetheart, we wanted to surprise you. How's the event going?
Mom, Dad, it's going great, actually. I'm learning so much about myself and...
That's wonderful, dear. Listen, we have some exciting news. Do you remember the Watanabe's son? He's visiting San Francisco next month. He expressed interest in meeting you when you return.
Mei's smile faltered slightly. The familiar weight of expectation settled on her shoulders. This subtle change in her expression revealed the pressure she felt, a sensation she knew all too well.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure about my return date yet. There's still so much I want to explore in Kyoto.
Explore? But sweetie, you have responsibilities back home. Your job and your friends are here. It would be nice if you settled down soon. There's a nice young man from the Watanabe family, you know.
Mei glanced around the vibrant cultural center. She then looked back at her parents' hopeful faces on the screen. There was a stark contrast between her growing sense of self and her parents' traditional expectations. This difference seemed more apparent than ever before.
I appreciate your concern. However, I need to figure things out for myself. My time here is important to me.
We understand, Millie, but don't forget where you come from. Your roots are important too.
As the call ended, Mei stood motionless. Her mind was filled with mixed feelings. She had found comfort earlier in the day. Now, that comfort blended with a fresh feeling of internal conflict. Mei's emotions swung between peace and renewed struggle.
Mei-san, is everything all right?
I'm feeling uncertain, Yuki. Just when I think I'm making progress, something pulls me back. How do you move forward? It's hard when part of you is always looking back.
Yuki placed a comforting hand on Mei's shoulder. Her eyes reflected understanding and empathy.
Perhaps the key is not to choose one over the other. Instead, try to find strength in both options. Your journey is uniquely yours, Mei-san. Embrace it fully.
Mei nodded slowly, her gaze drifting across the room. The space was full of people navigating their own cultural challenges. In that moment, Mei felt a sense of resolve grow within her. The path forward might not be clear. However, she was determined to create her own path forward. The golden light of late afternoon bathed Kyoto in a warm glow. Mei and Hiroshi stood at the entrance of the famous temple, the ancient wooden structure perched on the hillside. It offered a breathtaking view of the city below. Hiroshi glanced at Mei with mixed emotions. His eyes reflected both excitement and melancholy.
Mei-san, I want to show you the Kyoto I love. There's an important decision you need to make soon. Before that, shall we begin our adventure?
Hiroshi, that sounds wonderful. I can't think of a better way to spend these precious days. Lead the way.
They ascended the steps to the temple. The scent of incense filled the air. Soft chimes of bells surrounded them. Mei's hand brushed against Hiroshi's. For a moment, they both hesitated. Then, they joined their hands together. The atmosphere was filled with a sense of anticipation and connection.
This temple has stood for over 1,000 years. It has witnessed so much history and many changes. Yet the temple remains, changing while keeping its core identity. Sometimes I wonder about its journey through time.
Wonder what?
If people can be like that too. Rooted in tradition, yet open to new perspectives.
Mei squeezed Hiroshi's hand. She understood the weight behind his words. They paused at the main hall. Before them, a wide-ranging view of Kyoto spread out.
It's breathtaking, Hiroshi. I feel like I can see two worlds from up here. The ancient and the modern coexist before us.
That's what I love about Kyoto. It's a city of contrasts. Kyoto always balances the old and the new. This balance reminds me of many aspects in life.
Hiroshi's words faded away. A familiar voice called out to them.
Hiroshi, what a surprise to see you here.
They turned to see a young woman approaching. Her resemblance to Hiroshi was unmistakable. Mei recognized her as Hiroshi's sister, Yuki. Mei had briefly met Yuki at a family dinner before. The young woman looked remarkably like her brother, catching Mei's attention immediately. This chance encounter brought back memories of their previous meeting at the family gathering.
Yuki, I didn't expect to run into you here. Mei-san, you remember my sister?
Of course. It's lovely to see you again, Yuki-san.
Likewise, Mei-san. Are you two enjoying a little sightseeing?
There was a knowing look in Yuki's eye. This made Mei shift uncomfortably. Hiroshi cleared his throat. His posture stiffened slightly. The tension in the room was palpable as each person reacted to the unspoken exchange.
Yes, I'm showing Mei some of my favorite places in Kyoto. This is happening before she returns to America.
Ah, I see. Mei-san, how are you finding our city? Very different from San Francisco, I imagine.
It's beautiful and fascinating. Every day, I discover something new. These discoveries challenge my perceptions. The experience has been eye-opening.
Yuki nodded thoughtfully. Her gaze moved between Mei and Hiroshi. The tension in the air was palpable. It was full of unsaid things and important choices to be made. Everyone could feel the weight of the moment.
You know, there's a lovely tea house nearby. Perhaps we could all go for a cup of tea. I'd love to chat and hear more about your experiences, Mei-san.
Mei glanced at Hiroshi. She was seeking his reaction. His expression showed a mix of emotions. It revealed both apprehension and resignation.
What do you think, Mei? It could be nice to take a break and sit for a while.
I'd like that, actually. Yuki-san, thank you for the invitation.
Mei and her companion were heading to the tea house. As they walked, Mei felt nervous butterflies in her stomach. They had unexpectedly encountered Yuki along the way. This chance meeting could lead to a serious talk. They might have to face the truth about their situation. The tea house was a peaceful retreat. It had tatami floors and delicate shoji screens. They settled around a low table. Mei felt this simple act might be significant. She sensed it could spark important choices. The act of sitting down for tea seemed to hold great meaning. Mei wondered if this moment would lead to decisions that could change their lives. The sun dipped low on the horizon. Long shadows stretched across the philosopher's path. Mei and Hiroshi walked side by side. Their footsteps echoed softly on the stone-paved trail. Cherry blossoms and a tranquil canal adorned the scene. This beauty contrasted sharply with the tension between them. Despite the serene surroundings, an unspoken conflict hung in the air, creating a palpable divide between the two figures as they continued their silent journey along the historic pathway.
Hiroshi, I think we need to talk about us, about where this is going.
I agree, Mei. There's so much unsaid between us.
Hiroshi's hand brushed against Mei's. It was a gesture both comforting and hesitant. They paused near a small wooden bridge. The fading light painted the sky. Hues of pink and orange filled the view. The moment was tender and peaceful.
I can't ignore the cultural differences anymore. I feel torn between two distinct worlds. My American life contrasts with my Japanese heritage. On top of that, our relationship adds another layer of complexity to my cultural identity struggle.
I understand. I've been struggling too. My family and our traditions are important to me. But you are important too, May.
May turned to face Hiroshi. Her eyes searched his face intently. Their unspoken fears and hopes lingered. A heavy atmosphere surrounded them.
I'm scared, Hiroshi. I'm afraid I'll have to choose between my identity and our relationship. I fear losing myself. I worry about trying to fit into a mold that isn't me. This pressure to change who I am for our relationship terrifies me.
I'm afraid of disappointing my family. I fear breaking from the path they've always expected me to follow. But being with you has changed things. It's made me question everything I thought I knew. Your presence in my life has sparked a transformation, challenging my long-held beliefs and expectations. While I'm anxious about straying from the familiar course, I'm also discovering new perspectives that are reshaping my understanding of myself and my future.
A gentle breeze rustled through the trees. It carried the sweet scent of cherry blossoms. The breeze seemed to briefly ease the weight they felt. This provided a moment of relief from their recent confessions.
I don't want to change who you are, Hiroshi. Your connection to your culture and respect for tradition are important. These qualities are part of what drew me to you. But I can't give up my independence. My career aspirations are also crucial to me. We need to find a balance between our individual needs and our relationship.
And I would never ask you to change, May. Your spirit and drive make you who you are. I just don't know how to connect our different lives.
May stepped closer to Hiroshi. Her hand reached out to touch his arm. This simple gesture spoke volumes. It revealed the depth of their connection.
Maybe we don't need all the answers right now. It could be about finding a balance in life. We can create our own unique path. This path should honor both our heritage and our dreams. By doing so, we respect where we come from while pursuing our future goals.
It won't be easy. My father, my family.
I understand the situation. My parents have their own expectations as well. However, if we stand united, we can overcome this. We can face this challenge together as a team.
Their eyes met. A spark of hope flickered between them. In that moment, the obstacles seemed manageable. The future appeared a little brighter and less intimidating.
Together. I like the sound of that, May.
Overwhelmed by emotion, Hiroshi pulled May into a passionate embrace. Their lips met in a tender kiss. The last rays of sunlight painted the sky. A vibrant mix of colors filled the horizon, creating a romantic backdrop for the couple's intimate moment. Suddenly, the sound of hurried footsteps broke through. May and Hiroshi's moment of connection was interrupted. They turned to see a serious-looking man approaching. It was Hiroshi's father.
Hiroshi, what is the meaning of this?
Hiroshi's father's voice cut through the peaceful evening air. It was sharp, like a knife. His eyes darted between his son and May. His gaze showed clear disapproval.
I've allowed this foolishness to go on long enough. It's time for you to remember your duty. Your family and heritage are important. You have a choice to make, son. The decision is yours here and now.
The ultimatum hung in the air. It shattered the fragile hope May and Hiroshi had just begun to build. Twilight deepened around them. They stood at a crossroads. This decision would shape not just their future, but their very identities. Before we continue, let's take a moment to reflect. What are your thoughts on this story? What would you like to hear next? Please share your ideas in the comments. The sun hung low in the sky. It cast long shadows across the Japanese garden. Koi fish glided silently in a small pond. Their scales glinted in the fading light. The backdrop was serene, yet tension crackled in the air. May and Hiroshi stood side by side. They faced their families together.
Hiroshi, this has gone on long enough. It's time you understood your responsibilities. These responsibilities are to our family and our traditions.
Father, please. May is not just some passing fancy.
She's American, Hiroshi. No matter her ancestry, she cannot truly understand our ways.
Tanaka-san, if I may, I have a confession to make. Although I was raised in America, my background is more complex. My parents have instilled in me a deep respect for our Japanese heritage. This respect is an integral part of who I am, despite my American upbringing.
May, we didn't raise you to abandon your roots. We thought this trip would help you connect with your culture. We didn't expect you to behave like this.
May's mother made an unclear gesture towards Hiroshi. Her disapproval was clear from her tense jaw. May experienced a familiar feeling of guilt. This emotion was quickly replaced by a wave of frustration.
Mom and Dad, I want you to understand something. I haven't abandoned anything from my past. In fact, I've discovered something important. Through Hiroshi, I found a deeper connection to my heritage.
But what about your life in San Francisco? Your career? Everything you've worked for?
And Hiroshi, what about your obligations here? There's the position at your father's company. What about the future we've planned for you?
Hiroshi's mother spoke with a soft voice. Her tone was as concerned as her husband's. May and Hiroshi looked at each other. They drew strength from this shared moment. The siblings found comfort in their silent exchange, facing their parents' worry together.
I appreciate everything you've done for me, truly I do. But I've come to realize something. The future I want might look different. It may not align with what you've imagined for me.
This is nonsense. You're throwing away everything for some romance.
It's not just a romance.
May's voice rang out, silencing the garden. Even the birds seemed to pause their evening songs. All eyes turned to her as she took a deep breath. May was gathering her courage for what came next.
What Hiroshi and I have is a bridge between two worlds. We're not rejecting our heritage or our families. We're finding a way to honor both. We're being true to ourselves. This connection allows us to embrace our diverse backgrounds while forging our own path.
May's words hung in the air. They were heavy with emotion and conviction. She turned to face her parents directly.
Mom and Dad, you've always taught me to be proud of who I am. This includes the part of me that's American and the part that's Japanese. Hiroshi helps me embrace both aspects of my identity.
May, we just want what's best for you.
I know, Mom. I'm not that little girl anymore. I have to find my own way. It might not be the path you imagined for me, but it's the journey I need to take for myself.
Hiroshi stepped forward. He reached for May's hand. Gently, he gave it a squeeze.
Father, I'm not the son you thought I was. May has opened my eyes to new possibilities. I now see a world beyond the narrow confines of duty.
This is unacceptable. You would turn your back on everything we've built?
No, Father. I want to build something new. It's something that honors our past. At the same time, it embraces the future.
The silence that followed was deafening. The sun had nearly set. It left the garden in a dusky light. This scene reflected the uncertainty felt by the group.
Perhaps we should all take some time to reflect on this.
Hiroshi's mother made a hesitant proposal. This suggestion slightly eased the tension in the room. May's father responded with a slow nod. His expression remained unreadable.
Yes, I think that would be wise. This is a lot to process.
The families began to disperse. A heavy strain of unresolved conflict lingered in the air. May and Hiroshi remained rooted in place. Their hands were still intertwined. Together, they faced an uncertain future.
Hiroshi,
I know, May. We'll figure this out. Together.
As darkness settled over the garden, May and Hiroshi stood in silence. The weight of their family's expectations and their own desires hung in the air. These conflicting feelings balanced delicately between them. The path forward was unclear, but they faced it together. Their love shone like a beacon in the gathering storm, guiding them through the uncertainty. The sun cast long shadows across Kyoto's bustling streets. May found herself standing before the impressive glass front of the city's modern art museum. Her reflection was distorted in the shimmering surface. This image seemed to capture the internal conflict she felt.
I came here to find myself, but I feel more lost than ever.
May sighed and adjusted her bag on her shoulder. She stepped into the cool, quiet interior of the museum. Meanwhile, across the city, Hiroshi stood at the entrance of an ancient temple. His brow was furrowed in contemplation.
My ancestors have walked these grounds for generations. Why do I suddenly feel like a stranger here?
May wandered through galleries filled with avant-garde installations. Her mind drifted to Hiroshi. A chasm had opened between them. The experimental art surrounded her, but her thoughts were far away, focused on the growing distance in their relationship.
These artists are breaking all the rules, challenging tradition. Why can't we do the same?
She paused before a piece of artwork. The artwork blended traditional Japanese calligraphy with bold, modern strokes. This fusion of styles spoke to her on a deeply personal level.
Beautiful, isn't it? The way it bridges two worlds.
May turned around. She saw her local guide, Yuki. Yuki was standing right beside her. The guide had a knowing smile on her face.
It's like it's speaking directly to me, but how do you combine two different worlds? Can you do this without losing the essence of either? This challenge requires careful consideration to preserve the unique qualities of both realms while finding common ground.
Perhaps the key is not to force them to fit. Instead, we should allow them to dance together. In this way, each element enhances the other. This approach creates a harmonious relationship where components complement each other naturally, rather than being forced into an uncomfortable arrangement.
May pondered Yuki's words. Meanwhile, Hiroshi knelt in the temple's Zen garden. His hands traced patterns in the carefully raked sand.
My whole life, I've followed the path laid out for me. But now...
An elderly monk approached. His face was weathered but kind. He looked at Hiroshi's troubled expression.
Sensei, how does one honor tradition while embracing change?
The monk's eyes crinkled. He wore a smile on his face. The monk sat beside Hiroshi.
Even the mightiest river must sometimes change its course. The key is to flow with purpose. Remember this, young man.
Afternoon faded into evening. May and Hiroshi found their feet carrying them to a familiar place. It was the small bridge over the Kamo River. This was where they had first truly connected with each other. The bridge held a special significance in their relationship. Their eyes met across the bridge. Surprise gave way to mixed emotions. They felt a blend of longing and uncertainty.
Hiroshi? I didn't expect to see you here.
May, I suppose great minds think alike.
A tentative smile passed between them. They moved to meet each other. The meeting point was in the middle of the bridge. This sequence of actions captured the hesitant yet purposeful encounter between two individuals, coming together on neutral ground symbolized by the bridge's center.
I've been doing a lot of thinking. About us, about who I am, about what I want.
As have I. It seems we both sought answers in the shadows of our city.
And did you find any?
I found that the path forward isn't always clear, but that doesn't mean it's not worth taking.
May's eyes widened slightly. A flicker of hope appeared in her gaze, revealing a sudden change in her emotional state.
I realized something today. Our differences are not obstacles. They are what make us unique. These differences drew us together from the beginning. Our uniqueness is the very thing that created our bond.
Perhaps we've been so focused on what divides us, we forgot to see what unites us.
Hiroshi hesitantly reached out. He took May's hand in his. The touch sent a familiar warmth through them both, creating a shared moment of connection.
So where do we go from here?
I don't have all the answers, May. But I know I want to find them with you.
The last rays of sunlight painted the sky. Hues of pink and gold filled the horizon. May and Hiroshi stood together on the bridge. Their shapes blended together into one. The journey ahead was uncertain. Yet, a new feeling arose within them. For the first time in days, they felt hope. A sense of determination filled them both. The cultural festival was filled with vibrant colors and a festive atmosphere. May and Hiroshi walked hand in hand through the bustling grounds. Lanterns swayed gently in the breeze, casting soft light. The light illuminated the faces of their gathered families. It was truly a special occasion for everyone.
I can't believe we're all here together. It feels like a dream.
A beautiful dream, May. One I hope we can turn into our reality.
Hiroshi gently squeezed May's hand. They approached their families together. May's parents stood slightly apart from Hiroshi's family. The tension between the two groups was obvious to everyone.
Hiroshi, I hope you understand the gravity of this situation. This is highly unconventional.
Father, I understand your concerns. Please give us a chance. We want to show you something important. Our differences can make us stronger. They don't have to cause division. Let's work together to see how our unique qualities can benefit us all.
May, darling, are you sure about this? There's so much at stake.
Mom, I've never been more sure of anything. This festival is about celebrating connections between cultures. Hiroshi and I represent exactly that.
May's grandmother stepped forward. Her eyes were twinkling brightly. They shone with wisdom and affection.
Perhaps we should all learn from the younger generation. After all, isn't life about continuous growth? We can all learn valuable lessons from each other. This approach embraces the idea that wisdom isn't limited by age, and that personal development is a lifelong journey enriched by diverse perspectives.
The families looked at each other uncertainly. Despite their hesitation, They nodded in agreement. Mei and Hiroshi led the group to the first activity. It was a collaborative origami station. This setup allowed everyone to work together on the Japanese paper folding art.
I remember teaching you origami when you were little, Mekali. You were always so determined to get it right.
And now I'm teaching Hiroshi. It's like our cultures are folding together. This is creating something new and beautiful.
As they worked on their creations, the initial awkwardness began to fade. Hiroshi's mother offered help to Mei's father with a difficult origami fold. Their shared laughter broke the ice, creating a warmer atmosphere. The simple act of working together on a creative project had brought them closer, turning strangers into friendly acquaintances.
You know, Tanaka-san, your daughter has brought such joy to our Hiroshi. I've never seen him so passionate before. He's enthusiastic about combining traditional and modern concepts. Hiroshi is really excited about blending our old customs with fresh perspectives.
Hiroshi has helped our Macy reconnect with her roots. He's done this in ways we never could. This development is unexpected. However, it's wonderful to see.
The group moved on to a calligraphy demonstration. Mei's skill in English proved useful during this activity. She was tasked with translating Japanese characters.
Impressive, Mei-san. You honor our language while bringing your own unique perspective.
Thank you, Sato-san. That means a lot coming from you.
As the evening progressed, the families gathered. They found themselves sharing stories. Laughter filled the air as they bonded. The festival's displays amazed everyone. They marveled at the international cooperation. The event showcased global teamwork, impressing all who attended.
You know, watching all of this is thought-provoking. It reminds me why we came to America in the first place. We came for new opportunities. We also came to make new connections.
And yet, we must not forget the importance of our traditions and heritage.
That's exactly what Mei and I want to do. Honor both our pasts and our future together.
The families gathered around a small stage. Mei and Hiroshi had prepared a surprise for everyone. They presented a short performance on the stage. The performance mixed classic Japanese dance with contemporary styles. This unique blend captivated the audience, showcasing the rich cultural heritage alongside modern artistic expressions. As they moved in harmony, their dance became a metaphor. It represented their relationship perfectly. Two distinct styles came together. They created something unique and beautiful.
Look at them. They're not erasing their differences, they're celebrating them.
The performance came to an end. A brief silence fell over the audience. Suddenly, applause erupted from both families. Many eyes filled with tears. The earlier tension had melted away. It was replaced by a softer, more open atmosphere.
Hiroshi, Mei, I think we've all learned something important today.
Yes, perhaps there's more than one way to honor our heritage.
It's not about choosing one world over the other. It's about building bridges between them.
And we're ready to do that. Together, with all of your support.
Fireworks burst overhead, lighting up the night sky. Dazzling colors filled the air. Two families moved closer together. It wasn't perfect harmony, but it was a beginning. This was the first step on a bridge between their worlds.
Remember this moment, all of you. This is how new traditions are born.
Mei and Hiroshi exchanged a look of hope and love. Their hands were intertwined as they faced each other. The path ahead would not be easy for them. But they had gained understanding that night. It was a journey they were now ready to face together. Their families stood behind them, offering support. Cherry blossoms burst into full bloom across Kyoto. Their delicate pink petals symbolized new beginnings for Mei and Hiroshi. The couple had chosen to host a hanami party, a traditional flower viewing celebration. This party would blend their two worlds. It reflected how their relationship had developed over recent months, much like the blossoming cherry trees.
Hiroshi, can you believe we pulled this off? It's perfect, just like I imagined it would be.
It's beautiful, Mei. I never thought I'd be hosting a hanami party. We have hamburgers and steak side by side. This unique combination brings together different cultures in our celebration.
Mei laughed, her eyes twinkling with delight. She surveyed the diverse array of foods before them. Traditional Japanese sweets sat next to a platter of chocolate chip cookies. Guests mingled, creating a vibrant atmosphere. Some wore elegant kimonos, while others dressed in casual Western attire. The scene was a perfect blend of cultures, reflected in both the food and fashion.
That's us in a nutshell, isn't it? A little bit of everything. Creating something uniquely ours.
You're right. And speaking of which, are you ready to make our announcement?
Mei took a deep breath. Her hand found Hiroshi's as she nodded. They had come so far and overcome so much. This moment felt like the peak of their journey.
Everyone, we need your attention for a moment. May and I have an announcement to make. We want to share something important with all of you.
The gathered friends and family turned towards them. A mix of curious and knowing looks appeared on their faces. May's grandmother caught her eye. She gave an encouraging nod.
First, we want to thank you all for being here today. This party is a celebration of spring. It's a celebration of new beginnings. But it's also a celebration of the journey Hiroshi and I have been on.
We've decided to build a life together. Our new life honors both of our cultures. It celebrates the love we found in each other.
A murmur of excitement spread through the crowd. May spotted Hiroshi's parents in the gathering. Their faces revealed a mixture of surprise and careful acceptance.
And how do you plan to do this? Where will you live?
We've given that a lot of thought. OTOU-san. Our plan is to split our time between two cities, San Francisco and Kyoto. I'll continue my work remotely from both locations. Meanwhile, Hiroshi will expand his business to include international clients. This arrangement allows us to maintain our connections in both countries while pursuing our professional goals.
It won't be easy. We believe this is the best way forward. Our goal is to honor both sides of our heritage. Together, we'll build the life we want.
As the news sank in, May's grandmother moved. She made her way through the crowd. Her aged hands grasped both May and Hiroshi.
My dear ones, you have found something truly precious. It is love that bridges worlds. Never lose sight of this remarkable gift.
May's eyes filled with tears as she embraced her grandmother. The party continued around them, full of joy. It was a beautiful blend of cultures and traditions. This celebration mirrored the future May and Hiroshi imagined together. Later that evening, the last of the guests departed. May found herself in her grandmother's garden. The cherry blossoms glowed softly in the fading light. Petals drifted gently to the ground.
Obahan, I can't thank you enough for everything. Your support and wisdom have been invaluable. I don't think I could have succeeded without you. You've guided me through life's challenges, and I'm deeply grateful for your presence in my journey.
May-chan, you had the strength within you all along. You just needed to believe in yourself. I always believed in you, May-chan. Your inner power was there from the start. All you lacked was confidence in your own abilities. My faith in you never wavered, and now you can see why.
May looked out over the garden. She was reflecting on her journey. May had come to Japan feeling lost. She felt caught between two worlds. Now, May stood firmly in both worlds. She was no longer torn by her dual identity. Instead, she felt strengthened by it. Her experiences had transformed her. May now embraced the two sides of herself. She found strength in her mixed cultural background.
I feel like I finally know who I am, Obakan, and I'm not afraid of it anymore.
That, my dear, is the greatest victory of all. Remember this important lesson. Cherry blossoms bloom beautifully for a reason. They embrace both their roots and the sky above. This balance allows them to achieve their full potential, just as we must in our own lives.
Hiroshi joined May in the garden. He gently slipped his hand into hers. May felt a wave of calmness envelop her. They both knew the path ahead would have its challenges. However, they were committed to facing them together. They would navigate the beautiful and complex journey of life. It was the future they had chosen for themselves.
To new beginnings, and to the journey ahead.
To us, and to the beautiful blend of worlds we'll create together.
Under the cherry blossoms, May and Hiroshi stood together. They sealed their promise with a gentle kiss. The couple was ready to embrace their shared future. Together, they would face both its complexity and beauty. The story is over. Thank you for listening. Please leave a comment about the story. Share your thoughts with me. I will read all of your comments. I'll reply to each of you personally. See you next time.